Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope your guys' weekend was great and that you're getting ready for a productive Sunday, maybe grocery shopping and meal prepping and all of that stuff. We are entering the final week of phase 2, which is absolutely amazing, and I can't believe that we are already sort of 2/3 of the way done, basically. This week is going to fly by, I'm sure, and then we are in the final phase 3. And I did see, I was actually scrolling through our group trying to figure out what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, since I hadn't been on in a day or two. And I saw a question, somebody asking, they're having great results in phase 2, and as they get ready for phase 3, what should they do in terms of their calculation? They're on the border of plan C and D. And I saw a bunch of you guys chiming in. And again, I think I said this at the very beginning of the group. While I appreciate you guys all jumping in to help each other, you got to make sure you know what exactly advice you're giving. And this is why I'm coming on, because as coaches, I want to make sure you're giving your challengers the right advice too. Because I saw a lot of people saying like, just bump up, just do this, just do that. And I'm like, pump the brakes. Let's do what you're actually supposed to do, which is at the end of every phase, you are supposed to recalculate. You're supposed to recalculate with the formula so for that phase. So in phase 1, we had one formula. Then in phase 2, the formula switches, and that's the formula that you use for phase 2 and phase 3. Okay? So at the end of phase 2, we do always recalculate at the end of a phase because a lot of people have lost weight, right? And you might have moved a bracket or so in either direction if you lost 5 pounds or even 3 pounds. Some people who are on the border of plan C or plan D might have, lost 3 or 4 pounds, and it'll push them strictly into plan C or whatever it might be. So yes, everybody's supposed to do their calculation again at the end of phase 2. And you are supposed to use the formula again for phase 2, and that should put you in the right bracket for phase 3. The biggest thing to pay attention to, again, is whether or not you're going to stay in weight loss or be in maintenance. Again, if you've been eating in weight loss, you've been feeling really good, you've been having really good results, and you still have weight to lose, you stay in weight loss. You don't go to maintenance. I've gone over a bunch of times, what the signs are of needing to move into maintenance or maybe going up a bracket, that sort of thing. So you guys can definitely go back and watch those videos because I've said it so many times. But you all know what it is at this point. But the point is that, yes, you do recalculate at the end of phase 2 just to be sure if you've lost weight, then you need to make sure you're in the right bracket. Somebody said, I haven't lost weight, so I have nothing to recalculate. Yes, that's true. If you didn't lose weight this phase, then obviously you're going to stay in the same bracket that you've been in from this phase. And you're not going to get frustrated because I talked about this the other day, that in phase 2, everybody's results slow down. Not because nothing is happening. There's lots of beauty happening inside, lots of fat being burned, muscle being put on, inches being lost, strength being gained, all of that stuff. So watch what happens in phase 3, because now we do go into more of a shred phase in phase 3, and a lot of you who maybe only saw a pound or 2 come off this phase or saw inches come off but not pounds, you will see it start to move again in phase 3, so just be aware of that. If the scale has moved in either direction, up or down, you do need to recalculate. And just be aware, if the scale went up but your inches came down, then you lost fat and you put on lean muscle, okay? And that more than likely that is what you're looking to accomplish. Like I told you guys with my results with the program, I gained 4 pounds with the program, but lost 2.5% body fat, which was exactly my goal when I did the program, because I had gotten a little bit leaner than I wanted to. So you guys, I know the build phase seems counterintuitive. It's not. You're building lean muscle. You're not building bulky muscle, and lean muscle burns like 3 times more calories than fat burns. So while it seems frustrating to you guys because everybody is so obsessed with just the number on the scale, it's absolutely not counterintuitive. It is that you are building lean muscle and burning fat, and so they're sort of swapping out right now. And then that's why in phase 3 you're going to see the number come down more again, because then we go into more of this shred phase where there are more plyometrics and things like that. And your body has just had a chance to check in on itself, like I told you it was going to do. You're going to lose a lot in phase 1, and then your body's going to go, what's going on here? Is this right? Is this what's supposed to be happening? Pump the brakes. Let me make sure we're okay. And then in phase 3, it'll start to pick back up. I've seen a couple people post that they gained a few pounds. And again, you have to check in on yourself with one of two things. Has your nutrition been 100% on point? Because let me tell you, because of how much we're lifting and because of how much we're doing, if you're not eating 100%, like let's say you're cheating here and there and you're lifting heavy, you will gain weight because you will build a more, for lack of a better word, bulky muscle. You hear me talk about it actually in Weekly Obsession this week, where I said to Jasmine was talking about the fact that she wanted defined arms that were lean, and for the first time she was getting it with this program, whereas in the past she had muscular arms, but she always felt like they were bulky. Well, it was because of her nutrition. She wasn't eating properly before because nobody had ever taught her how. So here she was, this like elite soccer player, but she didn't know exactly how to be fueling her body for the results that she needed to be on the field and for the results that she needed to have, the aesthetics that she wanted to have. So if you're cheating, okay, even because I've seen people post like, I'm doing so great, I'm eating 90% of the time on plan. 90% ain't 100. And if you're eating 90% on plan and gaining weight, well, you're eating 90% on plan, not 100%. I didn't guarantee results with 90%. I guaranteed it with 100%. So you do need to be aware of that, okay? And if you feel like if you're gaining weight and inches, and you're eating in maintenance, then maybe you don't belong in maintenance and you need to come down a bracket. Then I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys, and I'm trying to not sort of talk too fast, which I have a tendency to do, because I want you to really think through these things, which is if you're gaining weight and inches and you're eating in maintenance, then you shouldn't be eating in maintenance. You should be eating in weight loss, unless that's your goal, right? Some people are really lean and they're like, my goal is to gain weight and inches with this program. Great, then you need to be eating a surplus. But if that's not your goal and your goal is loss, then you need to reevaluate. Now, like I said before, if your weight has gone up a pound or two, but your inches have come down, you're still losing fat. That's the bottom line. You're losing fat because inches can't come down unless you're losing fat when the scale is going up. That's what that is. That means you gained more muscle, okay? So that's not a terrible thing. And as long as you feel good and you feel good in your clothes and in your skin and you feel great about the way you look, then you're fine to stay where you are, okay? So there's all these things to just sort of be aware of, take into consideration as we enter, the last week of phase 2 and start to look at phase 3. Let's see. Nothing is moving pounds and inches, but body fat is going down. Great, then that's what we're looking for. Yes, it is normal to feel more tired sometimes during this phase. That's for a bunch of reasons, you guys. It's not just that it's a build phase. It's that, we've been doing this for 44, 45 days now, where you only get one rest day. They're definitely intense workouts. The nutrition is 100%, hopefully on point, and we've only had one refeed day so far. So, like I told you, when you're working out this hard and you're tapping the glycogen stores in your muscles, that's why we have refeed day, so that you get the burst of energy back, so that you get a little extra sugar back in your body and in your muscles. People want to believe that we don't need it, but there are certain things that we do need in our body, especially when you're training really hard, and sugar is one of them. We need the right kind of sugar at the right time, and that's what we're doing. We're maintaining really good eating habits and fruits and veggies and healthy carbs most of the time, and then every once in a while we get a nice little bump for one day in our sugar just to restore ourselves, and then we keep going. Let's see. Somebody said they just signed a new coach. Great. Somebody said menopause may slow their body down, but they never felt better. Somebody said they gained 2 pounds, but feel so much leaner and stronger. Fantastic. let's see. Somebody said no lost inches or pounds in phase 1, and this week just half a pound, 132 pounds in plan C. So that would just, is that your maintenance or your weight loss for plan C? And if that's your maintenance, then I would drop into your weight loss. And if that is your weight loss, and you feel like you could drop down a bracket, you could still drop down a bracket. And also, you guys, when the other thing is that you have to be willing to acknowledge when you might want to go see your doctor and have some blood work done and check your hormone levels and check your food sensitivity levels and all of these things, because unfortunately, we do have a lot of those issues. And those are things that I have no way of predicting, and it doesn't matter whose program or what program you're on. If you have an imbalance in your hormones or food sensitivities and you're eating those foods, until you figure that out, there's no program out there that's really going to help you. So if you're busting your butt, if you're 100% honest and you're working as hard as you can, you're eating the way you're supposed to be eating, and nothing is changing, then I would suggest it's time to go visit your doctor and just have a few things looked at and see what the heck is going on. Do the check. Am I getting enough sleep? Am I eating 100% on plan? Am I pushing as hard as I can? Am I eating from the top 1/3 of the list? Which on this program, I've pretty much listed all the healthiest foods, but you can try even harder. And if you run down that whole list and you're saying yes, 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 yes to everything and nothing is happening, then it's time to pay the doctor a visit and get a more detailed look at what is going on. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I'm just looking to see what your guys' questions are. Okay, if a person is in maintenance plan C, wakes up at 4 a.m., works on her feet 8 hours a day, and last meals at 5:30 p.m., feels hungry at night, do you recommend going up to plan D? So, Del Marie, what I would say is we actually have this. You guys also, just so you know, don't be afraid to look at the frequently asked questions section on the Beachbody website, because we have posts on there that go into detail about what to do if you work odd hours. And this person that you're describing is working odd hours. So she essentially kind of needs to eat like a day and a half's worth of food. So check out the frequently asked questions, because it'll take me a really long time to try to explain it to you guys, but it's on there of what to do if you work long hours, because I'm sure that there are several of you posting about different hours on here still. So check that out on the frequently asked questions. But essentially what you're going to do is eat your regular day, you're going to take a bit of a break, and then you're going to essentially pick back up eating again if you're working those crazy long hours. So because going up to plan D, she would just be eating more food but at every meal, and she would still be done by 5:30. And the thing is that she needs to not be done with food by 5:30. So she has to essentially start eating again after a little bit of a break. Brittany, yeah, I don't know what happened the other day. I did a live video, and for some reason it wouldn't let me pin it. So that's the only reason there hasn't been a pinned post in a couple of days, because I did a video 2 days ago, and for some reason it wasn't letting me pin it. So hopefully it'll let me pin this one. Let's see. I'm just going to take a few more questions. I have the stomach flu. Ooh, no fun. So you guys, anytime you take more than 3 or 4 days off of the program, if you're sick or if something happens, injury or life just gets in the way, I always say go back to the beginning of the phase you were in. And I know that might sound really frustrating, but once you take a week off of working out, you guys know how that feels. It's like when you get back into it, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, this is really hard. And you feel really deconditioned. So let's say, you missed this whole last week, this 3rd week of phase 2, and then you're ready to pick back up. I wouldn't say just jump right back into the last week of phase 2, because then you missed a big part, you missed a big week of this phase, but also you want to ease back in. You might not remember all the moves. We're going to be moving faster. So while it might be frustrating to backstep 2 weeks, I always think it's the best bet. If you don't love that idea, at least go back to the beginning of the week that you were in. But I always think it's better and it's safer to go back to the beginning of the phase and start there so you can continue to build up that strength and then go through the whole phase the way you're supposed to. Let's see. People are saying they're waiting till next week to get on the scale. That's great. Somebody said their legs are bulking out. Their pant legs are getting tight. You guys, it's not that your legs are necessarily bulking out. It's the swelling. It's the blood volume that happens from working out and lifting heavy. You'll notice it more in weeks 2 and 3 when those are heavier weeks than you will in weeks 1 and 4. And yes, next phase, what you'll see is this, you guys, like I said. And again, as we get into it, you'll notice. But phase 3 is designed as a shred phase. So even on leg day, you won't lift as heavy next month as you are lifting this month, because the way I have the moves designed, it's impossible to lift as heavy next month as you're lifting this month, because there's plyometric moves and things like that on leg day. So jumping, you can't jump with crazy heavy weights. So that's where the shred comes from, is that we're skyrocketing the heart rate. We're using lots of muscle groups. We're still using weights, but this is where we're toning and that sort of thing more. So just know that that's why this is an 80-day program, right? And you're only in phase 2. You still have to go through the next phase before we can see what the final results are. So don't panic yet. But that's, like I said, the tightness in your jeans, that is more blood volume than anything else usually. Like, especially if you're not seeing the scale go up significantly, that's blood volume. My jeans are the same way. I'm like dancing trying to get my way into them on these heavy lift weeks. And then all of a sudden, like the next week, I'm like, oh, they fit fine again. So don't panic too much about that. We have one more week to go, then we start phase 3. Anything else? Plenty of sleep, not hungry, but so tired this phase. Is that normal for build? Yeah, you guys, like I said, it is normal. It's just normal, the fact that we've been going for as long as we have, and that these workouts are intense, and that you know, guys, if you were doing 30-minute workouts before this and all of a sudden you're doing an hour-long workout and they're much more intense and that sort of thing, like, yeah, your body's going to be tired. But also just acknowledge that, you know, we're very busy people these days, and we're up early and we're running around and doing our jobs and chasing after the kids and all this stuff. So if you're tired by 9 or 10 o'clock at night, that's normal. You know, it's when you're tired at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you feel like you can't keep your eyes open that's not normal. That's where you're like, oh, wow, I'm taking a little bit of a beating. Maybe I need more sleep. Maybe I need to look at my food, fuel my body a little bit differently for a week. Like, eat from the higher part of the list. Make sure you're getting really those whole grains and things like that. So let's see. Anything else? I'm going to take 1 or 2 more questions. Gaining weight and inches in Plan B. Plan A is weight loss, absolutely starving, already very lean, but hate that I'm getting bigger. Okay, so Misty, that's hard. I need to like click on your profile and see what you look like here. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but here's the thing. If you're already really lean, you're probably gaining lean muscle, and that'll make the scale go up, and that'll make inches go up, like when you're really lean. Okay. So for people who are naturally super skinny and you start building lean muscle, yes, then if you didn't have muscle before, then yes, that's going to make the inches go up. And yes, that will make the scale go up. But eating in Plan B, you guys, there's certain things where it's just kind of almost impossible for it to like really wreak havoc on your body. And 1,500 to 1,800 calories a day ain't gonna do it. It's not enough food. It's when you start getting into plans like C, D, E, F, depending on your size already, that it's like, oh, then you might be eating in a significant surplus. But most people need at least 1,400 or 1,500 calories a day just to survive. Like when I do my resting metabolic rate, if I was to just lay in bed all day, just to maintain myself and my organs functioning and everything, I need almost 1,400 calories a day. Okay. that's to do nothing. That's to like not think really much, not do anything for my son, not get up and move around. That's 1,400 calories. So then when you add in the activity level of my day, I need at least another 500 calories, 600 calories, okay? So that puts me at like 2,000 almost when you add in the workout and everything else. So that's why I eat in Plan C, because that puts me at the top, like almost at 2,000 calories. So for me, that's where I need to be. So Misty, I wouldn't worry about it too much unless, because you can't eat where you're starving. That your body will hate you for it. You'll slow your metabolism down. If you were eating in Plan A and you're starving all the time, that's not good. That's your body telling you what it needs, that it needs more fuel. So I would say this is your body just adjusting to exercising, using weights, and putting on lean muscle, and you probably look phenomenal, and it's just a little bit of a shock because you're not used to it yet. But you have to make that call. I can't make that call. But what I can say is if you're eating in Plan A and you're starving, you don't belong in Plan A, and that Plan B is where you should be. All right, let me take one more question. Somebody said, is it possible that I might gain fat around my midsection due to a different kind of allergic reaction to dairy? Not bloat, but more loose bowel movements, I think, if I'm reading that properly. You're probably still not gaining. Well, first of all, I guess, yes, anything's possible if your body's not digesting it, or if it's making it hard for you to absorb your nutrients in general, then yes, anything is possible with that. But chances are it's not fat. Chances are it's still bloat, even though you feel like your bowel movements are loose. Because when I was eating foods that I was allergic to, like eggs and peanuts and almonds, I had the exact same thing. Like, my bowel movements weren't great. They were all over the place, actually, depending on the day and what I ate. But I would be bloated, and it would just look like I had gained weight. So the reactions could be anything. So if you think that that's what it is, try taking dairy out. I wouldn't even say wait till next phase. I'd say take it out starting today and see, because our bodies will respond really fast when you take out foods that your body is sensitive to, like literally within 48 hours. If you stop eating it, you'll start to notice a difference. So there it is, you guys. We've talked about it. You know what to do. We got one more week to go before you recalculate. So let's just keep pushing through this last week of phase 2 and get excited for phase 3, because it's going to be really fun. And this is our last big push before the end of the program. One more phase to go. It's flying by. I hope you guys are loving it as much as I am. I hope you have a great Sunday, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.